Becoming a writer makes you pay attention to more of the details in a story and the theme, and it makes you pay attention to a lot more and appreciate what the writer put in the book.
You think that you know a lot about writing stories, but when you actually start writing a children's book, there's so many skills that you still haven't learned. So I really enjoyed learning more from this experience.
I come from a special ed literacy background, so everything I do, every decision I make is really focused on helping our lowest third. Over 50% of our students are reading below grade level. We have an 11% ESL population. I've heard about this concept of BRAiN and was so excited because I knew it would speak to my literacy students. So you have to read what they wrote, you have to look at the picture, but you have to go along with their thought process. Does anyone have any questions?
When we're writing BRAiN books, we have to find ways that this can relate to children.
The girl took a stick and a garbage lid to protect the little dog from getting hurt.
Many of our students have large foundational gaps in their learning, and this curriculum gives them the opportunity to not just make up for those deficits, but then really push themselves as writers.
I have seen the BRAiN curriculum in partnership with targeting our lowest level students blow their previous writing and reading skills out of the water.
Kids who were shy at the beginning of the year felt confident in their ability to acquire skills and then apply them and wanted you to read every word that they wrote.
At first, I did not think I was a very good writer, and now as I continue doing this, I noticed that my writing is improving and it boosted up because I see that people find joy in my writing.
The student agency comes up all the time, meaning you can meet every student where they are.
I didn't want to write the book at first. She said choose a book, and I seen this one and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna write it. But then when I started writing it, I really liked it because I had a lot of idea about it.
This curriculum is flexible. There's a lot of space to stretch out moments where you find that your students need to slow it down a little bit. It can also be sped up for students who are moving quickly and quicker than the pace of the rest of the kids.
Do you feel like this really captures the personality of Patriots?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's extension activities that you can plan within your own classroom. If you find that a student's done, tell them to go back and dig into dialogue from another person's perspective. Tell them to go back and write it in a different setting. Tell them to write a different ending.
They have had an amazing time engaging in groups, using these targetable skills that, if you ask me, would not otherwise have been able to have been integrated into a ELA classroom in a high school, and the fact that they're using them to write entire stories.
When the girl went into the water, she forgot that she was a mermaid.
It's really therapeutic for a lot of kids who feel like they don't want to write their own stories. They can write from the perspective of somebody else while still sharing the lessons they've learned.
I'm just basically trying to relate on how she looks in the picture to how I think that she was feeling if I was her.
They're given images and it's coming from within themselves rather than this outside stuff, being able to make connections. So it's stuff they're just more comfortable writing about, that they're not top down being told to write. It's more of a bottom up.
This gave them the opportunity to work in groups and really get hands-on experience with their groups.
We had to have everybody else's ideas and somehow collaborate with them.
We focus on the word consensus a lot, having them come to those agreements really helped people verbally come out of their shells before they were writing it down.
One thing that was challenging for my group was developing the characters' names or the theme of the story or what's the solution is going to be. But after time of talking and agreeing, taking a vote, we came to a decision.
It's a fantastic opportunity to pair somebody who's higher with somebody who's a little bit lower and let them be the teachers for one another.
Right here, when you say a few seconds later, you should have put a camera right there because it sounds like this would be a pause right there.
This curriculum is fantastic because it allows students to think in their native language and then translate into English, not only exposing them to more vocabulary, but exposing them to more sentence structure.
Moisha estaba triste porque ella ya no podía jugar más con sus amigos en el parque.
Some students were working on one step and others were towards the end of the process, but we always had them engaged and excited because they always felt like everything was really authentic. Down to the adjective alley worksheets, the pliable plot lines. We talked a lot about moral of the story. We talked a lot about fables. We kind of incorporated all these things we didn't even have in our unit plan, but naturally just came out because of this curriculum.
It helped them take decoding skills and phonetic awareness skills and to build that into a fun environment.
We felt like we weren't learning nothing at first because we just kept joking around and but we was writing and doing the work. But later on we learned that we was using more adjectives to describe things and we were writing better dialogue than we were before.
Right Brain Day was this big culminating event that the kids were so excited about. They knew that they had put in all this hard work all year long and they were going to see their finished product.
Good morning, good morning. We are here, and I'm seeing for the first time your finished work, and these are one of those days that I can truly say it's one of the best days of being a principal. When people find out that I'm a principal in New York City, they say, oh my gosh, you have such a hard job. And I say, well, no, I get a job with a lot of rewards, and this is one of those rewards. My board is known about this, the board that governs our school for New Visions. They're excited about this, and now today I get to see these for the first time, and I could not be more thrilled and honored to say those are my kids at Hume 2. You've done a wonderful job, and what's great about this, since we are a school for the humanities, we're giving back to the community. And that's what also makes me happy, that you're going to donate these, that there's going to be the trips to the elementary school, and they get to meet a high school author. Because you have no idea how important that is to students when they see the high school kids come to them. And that's about giving back. So again, I'm proud of you. Congratulations. You should be very proud of yourself too.
What was it like writing a children's book together?
It was a little challenging because I've never written any before, but I just had to get creative with my group and, try to make it interesting, my creative mind.
It was a lot of laughter and a lot of joking, coming up with names and coming up with problems and all that.
When I saw our book, I was kind of shocked because at first I was told that we were just gonna be able to read it to like little kids. But when I came down and I saw it on a hardcover, I was like, wow, like we actually did that.
To see the book finished like this, it's pretty great. I'm happy that I got to do it.
That was not even in my mind to be a writer, but I feel proud of it.
It feels great to know that I'm donating this book to people, and especially for children, because children, they need something that they can read and they can see for in the future, and it means a lot. These stories can change anyone's perspective, and some people aren't able to have these books, and they're beautiful, they're amazing, and to have this, it's a privilege, and to make it was a privilege.
In the past year, I've seen students not just develop academically, but really open themselves up to me. You sit down and you have a conference with a kid and they want to tell you a lesson that they've learned in their own life and then apply it to a book. And it gives you the humanizing aspect that we kind of forget with teaching. You're reading so many things throughout the day, you forget that there's a human on the other side who's really putting their energy, their effort, and their love into it. Through this experience, I've gotten to read so much more of their minds, not just their words. It's been a really great opportunity for me to learn a lot about my kids.